If someone asked me for the most underrated pets in Prodigy, I'd probably say Ironkiln and Oakbark. Now, they're both pretty good pets here. However, which is better? In this video, we're going to be finding out which pet is better, Oakbark or Ironkiln, in the newest episode of Pet vs. Pet. Let's do this. So, Ironkiln, of course, I kind of glazed when they first came out, and I still think they're really good. You know, AoE healing is always amazing. You know, Eruption's pretty good, Smash pretty good, Heat Wave. The thing is, for PvP, it's actually not that good because Smash isn't unlocked until like a level past 50 in like PvP. However, if you're doing dual stadium PvP or PvE, they're a pretty good pet. So we're going to be judging Ironkiln and Oakbark based on, you know, stats, spells, and performance in battle. We're going to be testing them both out in battle, seeing how they do. And yeah, so Oakbark I haven't actually tried out at all. I just heard from people that they're pretty underrated and a pretty good pet. So, you know, Claw, that might be a 5-hit. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to test that out. It might be. We're gonna have to test that out. Shrub Assault is a 1-hit. I wish it did tell you how many hits it hit. You know, because you don't know if it's 3-hit, 2-hit, or 5-hit. I guess you can just estimate. You used to be able to estimate using like the power bars, but not anymore. Strangling Vine does a lot of damage as a dice attack, and Leaf Burst also does a lot of damage, and it's a single. So, yeah, this is gonna be pretty interesting. Let's do our stats. You know, our stats analysts. So for Oakbark, they have 2,102 health, 973 power, 815 dodge, 1,047 defense, and 55 order. Now we're actually going to be comparing this to Ironkiln. See the difference. 1,500 health, which is significantly less. It's by 600-ish less than Oakbark. You know, and then we have more. This only has around 100 more power than Oakbark. Now it has a little bit more dodge than Oakbark, but not that much to make a difference. Only like a 40 difference. Defense is, again, only around 100, so not that big of a difference. And order is 10, which, you know, is, you know, because orders doesn't go that high. Not really too much, though. So, I'm going to say, on stats, I think I'm going to have to give it to Oakbark, just because 600 health is a lot. It's a big difference, and the other ones are just pretty close. Order, you know, is not that, doesn't matter anymore, just because no all-out attacks doesn't matter as much. Of course, it still matters to understand your opponent's order and speed and such, but it's not that big of a game changer. So I think, you know, Oakbark has to take the win on stats. Now, I don't know if this is a 5-hit AoE, so we're going to have to be testing that out right now before we decide who's the winner of these spells. I'm not going to actually spend that on a dual stadium. I'm just going to randomly go to Firefly Forest for a random battle. Let's go here. Boom, let's go to Trip Drop. And hopefully Oakbark, actually no, Ironkiln has more speed. Yeah, we can really see like the things playing out here on looks. We're not really judging based on looks that much, okay? I'm not gonna make it, you know, be based on looks here, but they look pretty cool. I'm not even gonna I can't even lie. They look pretty cool. I cannot do math right now. Wait, so, you know, just edit this part out. 391 plus 25. 416 plus 20. What the heck? Maybe it wasn't plus 25. I can't do that for one. Okay, so here we are. Let's test out this, see how much it does, and also if it's 5 hit. It's only a 3 hit. That actually might decide who wins the spells. I have to look at them again though, because like, oh my god, I don't need to see Dragon out right now. I'm not about to see Dragon out. All right, so yeah, just look at the looks though, because they both look like awesome. Prodigy did a great job for both of their art designs. Definitely one of the best looking pets looks wise. But we have AoE. The AoE is basically the same for both of them, They both have a dice attack. 588. And then this dice attack. Wait, this is 7,000. This is 7,000. It's 800 more. The thing is, this doesn't have a recharge, so it might be better. This, of course, is not that good. Because it's 3 hit, and, this it doesn't matter, though. But this is good, and then, honestly, Ironkiln, I'm giving them the win for spells, bro. I'm giving them the win for spells. They're just much better with spells, honestly. Not much better. Just because Smash is a good pet, but PvP-wise, I think Oakbark might be better. I would not use Ironkiln in PvP ever, just because, like, PvP that's not, oh my god, Dragon out, I don't want you right now. I'm sorry. But yeah, I just would not use them in, like, PvP against your friends. Definitely don't. Oakbark is fine, though. I haven't really used Oakbark at all in PvP, so I wouldn't really know. But let's just actually go ahead and see performance in battle. Prodigy always likes to say that, pets are all balanced and equal. But there can only be one winner. I know earlier in the series, maybe I did a little tie, but I don't really want this one to be a tie. I want there to be one clear winner. And if we can't do that, I don't know. I guess it's going to be up to you guys in the comments to decide which is better. But already, just go down below and let me know which is better. What do you think is better down below in the comments? But the health is definitely a pretty major factor. Health is pretty important. 600 health, though, in modern day is, gonna pretty solid amount. Even with the update, it's a pretty solid amount. I think I'm gonna go for this. And of course, Oakbark's gonna be doing more damage with the plant boost. Don't think I don't have that considered, y'all. I have that down. I have that noted. This guy's gonna be getting cooked by Oakbark. Just watch this. Ready? It's gonna wipe him out. Yeah, 963 is pretty good. Pretty good for a single. And so on I'm having a hard time. I'm having a really hard time figuring out which is better, to be honest. Let's take out the Tribeak next. Loki, think we have this battle. I think we're gonna win this one, but I really have to consider these stats here. Overall, Ironkiln has better stats, but only by slights for all of them, so not enough to make a big difference. Spells are pretty equal, they're pretty equal. So performance in battle is not really that big of a one, of a determining factor. It's not really a good determining factor to see who's gonna win this. Pet versus pet. Do shrub assault. It's gonna do a good amount. Yeah, okay. We can't really do that much power. We can't really assume based on Oakbark's power because of the plant boost, which is fine. But honestly, they're both really good pets. I haven't used them in PvP, so I might be completely wrong about this, but I don't think Oakbark loses any spells in PvP. If a pet loses a spell in PvP, it's automatically a much worse pet than originally said. And Oakbark's spells though are not that good, just not that good. So I'm having a hard time doing this, but after doing this battle, I think I have my winner. I'm pretty sure I have my winner. So yeah, let me exit this battle real quick. So I think I have the winner of this pet versus pet, and this is personally just my opinion, so don't scream at me in the comments at all. Please don't. This is just my opinion. Again, I think for this pet versus pet, the winner of Oakbark versus Ironkiln is, drumroll please, Oakbark. So, to explain my reasoning, I personally think Ironkiln is a really good pet in PvE. But for PvP, Oakbark wins. And, yeah, they just win. And if you're battling your friends, don't use Ironkiln. That's basically the lesson of this video. And, Oakbark is just a good pet overall. They don't really have that many flaws except for their spells. Lots of health, definitely really good. Ironkiln is just better in PvE. Honestly, if you're doing PvE, better. PvP though, never use Ironkiln. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and what pets you want me to do, pet versus pet. If you want me to redo some previous pet versus pet because of all the battle updates. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.